Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Epidose of these crazy people just keep eating meat and keep talking and talking and talking about meat. But today we're actually not even going to talk about eating meat. We're going to talk about a subject that comes up in almost every group, every day around the world, and perhaps one of the world's best marketed products known to man, and that is apple cider vinegar. What is the deal with apple cider vinegar? Why is it so popular? And who has tried it? And probably a better question is who hasn't tried it. So anyways, we got some of our usual suspects here, but we also have Dan. Dan is a friend of ours that we've known for a while. I think we all met on MeetRx, or most of us met on MeetRx, and Dan's been busy, but we managed to get some time with him. So Dan, why don't you tell us what your experience was with apple cider vinegar, or maybe why you tried it and what happened?
Sure. Well, it kind of goes hand in hand with my pursuit of the carnivore diet, initially with lose weight. And so going into when I started carnivore diet, it was just basically I understood you eat anything that was coming from animals. But I wasn't real stringent about that. So I started looking at other things I could do in conjunction with it. Intermittent fasting and things like that. And I ran across this apple cider vinegar thing. And my son had been doing it. And he was singing his praises. And I'm looking at this thing online and it's telling me, it can help me lose weight. It helps with blood pressure, thyroid, bringing the micro stuff in your belly into more pH balance and blood pH and all of that stuff. And I thought, well, okay, I'll give it a shot. So every night, and I was reading when you take it, when you don't take it. And, if you take it at this time of day, that will do this for you. If you do it at this time of day, it'll do that for you. And so I started drinking it basically after I was doing one meal a day. I was drinking it right after my meal. And I learned very quickly, if you're going to do it, they recommend 2 to 3 tablespoons a day. And I did it all in one shot, and I learned very quickly, you can't drink apple cider vinegar straight. It'll sear your throat. So I found some recipes online, how to dilute it, make it taste better. And quite frankly, I never really gained a taste for it. I just kind of chugged it down because I believed it was doing something for me. And after a while, I was concerned about the enamel on my teeth
Sure.
and the acid in there and wearing it down. I was drinking it with a straw, so I didn't have to bring it up to my mouth and drink it. And quite frankly, I wasn't really noticing a whole lot of benefit from any kind of digestive repair or help. And it was just another thing I had to prepare and do, and it was just, plus the taste wasn't wonderful. So I just said, I kind of stopped doing it after a while. I did it for a while. I probably did it for about 3 months. And honestly, I just have to say, I wasn't noticing any really benefit from it. Other than, I was losing weight, but I couldn't really put my finger on, is it really the apple cider vinegar, or is it just because I'm eating differently now and maybe a little bit of the, putting distance between my meals and not snacking in between. So I thought, well, I'll just stop doing it. And if I notice anything different, I'll go back to it. And I stopped and nothing really changed. I continued to lose weight just like I was. And so I thought, well, why put myself through the torture? I'll just not do it and do the things I'm enjoying doing and eat meat.
Right. Well, how about you, Justin? You kind of instigated this one, so let's hear what you got to say on the subject.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first thing is Dan, did you have brags? Were you doing brags with the veil of the mother? It is. It's the one, of course. Of
look,
course.
and this is like my 10th bottle.
Whew.
I'm not doing it any longer. It's sitting there for crock pot reasons now.
Right. So, that's what everyone says. Oh, you have to have the brags with the veil of the mother. That's how it's advertised and everything like that. And yeah, so I tried on several occasions to incorporate brags into my diet. Um, One thing I read was migraines. If you take 2 tablespoons, I think a day, twice a day, or something like that. I even like printed out a piece of paper and wrote it on my wall and like stuck it there just to like get myself to do it. And it is rough. I mean, it does not go down smooth. I mean, I think there are times where I'd rather have like a shot of vodka in the morning instead of a shot of apple cider vinegar. Um, and and
It's
then
a little more
after
pleasant.
and it goes down and you still got the burn, like it burns all the way down and your
Yeah.
stomach just feels like unhappy for that like next hour and a half to 2 hours after you drink it. But everything you read is like, oh, it'll help you lose weight, it'll help with migraines, it'll cure cancer. Like it's just like, man, this is like the healthiest thing you can do, and it's so cheap. Like it is really really cheap. Like one of those large bottles is what, like $3 or something like that, and it's something like 32 servings roughly. And so you think it's like so cheap and efficient and you're doing so good, but like what Dan said, I got zero results except for stomach ache, heartburn, and a nasty taste. The only way I found tolerable to drink it daily was drinking it with agave. So I'd pour like a few tablespoons and a squirt of agave syrup in it to sweeten it, and I'd drink that down. I tried honey, but honey didn't work because it was too sticky. And so it would just kind of become this clumped clay mess at the bottom of the glass.
Wow.
And then I think one time I made the mistake of I was like, oh, okay, I think I was late or I was in a rush, and every day I would make these like fruit, vegetable, kale smoothie things. And then so I think one time I did that and threw apple cider vinegar in it and completely ruined it because all I could taste through drinking it was the apple cider vinegar. It's like you can't add it to anything because it will just completely make the entire whatever you're trying to eat or drink taste like apple cider vinegar, and it just does not help.
So how about you, Karina? What's your story of the apple cider vinegar?
Similar to Justin's. It's actually some years ago that I tried it. And I had the same reaction. It burned the throat and it burned in the stomach, and I felt really uncomfortable for an hour after. And it really burned, and I had some kind of almost allergic reaction. I started even sneezing, and there was some weird feeling in the nose, and it really didn't make any significant improvement. Like, well, what you can say, if you eat meat, you feel much better. But from apple cider vinegar, absolutely nothing. And now that I know about histamine intolerance, it is a highly processed food. So, of course, if you're histamine intolerant, you will have a reaction to that. And that's why my body definitely reacts to it very strongly. And I'm really not inspired to ever try it again. You're muted.
You're muted there, Tom.
Yeah, Tom, you're still muted.
I'm trying to unmute Ray. I was going to ask Ray, but there he is.
There. I was wondering what you were doing.
Yeah, I was trying to unmute Ray and it wasn't happening. And I was like, oh no. All right. So yeah, what about your experience, Ray?
Yeah, so I've actually been doing it since like 2012. I read all about, so The hypertension, of course, I don't do it anymore since carnivore. But the hypertension, they said that it would relieve hypertension. I was pre-hypertensive that whole time, so that was one of my big sellers. Of course, losing weight. So I figured lowering blood pressure, losing weight, and then I read that it's great for heartburn. At that time, I didn't have heartburn as bad yet, but it was there. So I would swig it for the heartburn, and I did notice for about 15 minutes the heartburn would go away. But then it'll come right back, and then I'd have to take it again. And, so it lasted, it was very short amount of time. So I was like, oh, there's got to be something to it. I'm not doing it enough. So at first I would take a swig directly from the bottle because I was too lazy. Then I tried adding it to my water. Then I was like, wow, that just makes the water even more disgusting. I'd rather just get it over with. So, so I went back to swigging it. And let me tell you, the burns, just like Justin said, I mean, it goes you feel it all the way down. I mean, all the way down. So, and I was thinking, well, that's just like alcohol, I'll get used to it. No, you don't kind of get used to it. But I did it religiously. I was doing it morning and night, because they recommended 2 tablespoons. So I figured, that's equal about 1 swig. So I did that. And lo and behold, I mean, my GERD just kept on getting worse and worse to the point where I could barely sleep. I'm not blaming it on apple cider vinegar. That probably was my diet. I don't know. But I still kept on. So the next thing you know, I'm drinking quarter of the brags like a day because, I didn't want to use any, over the counter meds. I was big on the, herbal and other stuff to get rid of the GERD. So like I said, I did notice I got rid of it for 15 minutes. So I'd be drinking and then 15 minutes later drinking some more, that kind of thing. Yeah, but really and honestly, after carnivore and the GERD went away, I started looking at that bottle. I was like, wow, now I use it for bone broth. But even then, I'm like, it doesn't do much for me.
Yeah, I think the first time I actually saw it work for something is somebody had hiccups and they had heard that if you take a shot of apple cider vinegar, it'll stop the hiccups. And it did work. I saw it happen, but it's so unpleasant to drink like an ounce of apple cider vinegar. You gotta wonder what's worse. And I know I tried it diluted because it supposedly was a remedy for heartburn. And I tried diluted, and it didn't work for me. If anything, it made it worse. And for what I understand, the way that actually works, it doesn't make any sense to have, to be regurgitating acidic stomach contents and then add more acid to it. But I guess in some cases, it actually causes the stomach to empty into the small intestine. And then once that the stomach contents is, gone down into the digestive tract, then it's not coming back up as easy. So I guess in some cases it could work, but it seems like, if you've got heartburn or GERD or whatever, you're probably on the wrong diet. So, that seems to be my observation. I'm gonna show some of these links that Justin, I think a couple of them are mine, but let me know when you guys see it on your end. You guys see the screen?
Yeah, no, I can see it.
Okay, so we've talked about microbes before and bacteria and all that. Like carnivores seem to stink less because they seem to have less Staphylococcus hominis on their skin, and then I think it was I'm forgetting now. But anyways, we got bacteria causing tooth decay, and then candida is like a fungus that infests people. And this study's talking about how apple cider vinegar is antimicrobial and can kill these things. So then again, just like having heartburn probably means you're on the wrong diet. Having an abundance of things like Staphylococcus and Candida probably means that you're on the wrong diet as well. At least that's my take on it. So, and you know, they talk about even coconut oil being antimicrobial, and I got to ask, how do you know that when you take something antimicrobial like vinegar or coconut oil that it's killing all the right microbes, right? I mean, how do you know that?
And I think it was in this study, if you scroll through, I think it talked about how the positive effects was related to polyphenols. And we all know about polyphenols
Mm-hmm.
now. So I thought that was really interesting, that
Yeah, it is interesting.
even the positive science, I would say, on it is based on, you know, now bad science, I suppose, depending on who you talk to. But in our community, we know the side effects of polyphenols.
Yeah. So, anyways, for people who are just listening, this study was on PubMed, and it's called Antimicrobial Activity of Apple Cider Vinegar Against, oh boy, E. coli, Staphylococcus aureus, Candida albicans, and downregulating cytokine and microbial protein expression. So, this was an article I think Justin sent me. It's still loading. Sorry. Don't know why it's so slow. Maybe I better move on. This is in medical news today, and it was talking about the side effects of apple cider vinegar. You know, it's everything about, like, you know, can it cure arthritis or warts or, wow, this is not going well. I assume you guys can still see the screen, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, this is sort of just going through the positive and negatives of it. You know, there was a study that showed people who were on a calorie restricted diet, a managed diet, who took a certain amount of apple cider vinegar every day, lost a little bit more weight than the other people. So the other people losing like 5 pounds a week, and then people that took the apple cider vinegar lost like 8 pounds a week or something like that. So, you know, there is,
Wait, is it the calorie restriction that did it?
well, it's a combination of both. Apparently, the apple cider vinegar somehow showed that people lost more weight. So, but that was about the only study I found that really seemed like good science so far. I didn't find anything about it curing cancer or preventing cancer. So,
Well, I can tell you one thing. I don't think I lost any weight. I mean, it was hard for me to lose weight.
uh, yeah, I didn't know it. Well, you know, I didn't have much experience with it because it seemed to me like it was just messing up my digestion. So um, I didn't really follow through with it for very long because it seemed like it was just, you know, it was making my heartburn worse. So, Justin, did you read this article? I'm drawing a blank on it.
Yeah,
Apple.
I was just going to make a couple of points about this one. So one is really funny, close to the top, or it talks about how they used honey as a way to make the participants be able to drink it more consistently as a low calorie sweetener. And then it was actually in this study where it says apple cider vinegar naturally provided numerous benefits related to skin, digestion, and immunity health without any side effects. That's what it says. Additionally, apple cider vinegar is a good source of polyphenols. Research supports the role of polyphenols in the prevention of cardiovascular disease, cancers, neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, osteoporosis, and diabetes. And we all know that is like garbage science, right?
Yeah. Well, and one might surmise, you know, I think we come across a lot of people on this diet, and when they first start, particularly carnivore, they might have weak stomach acid for a number of reasons, and they benefit from taking, you know, like biotin, HCl or whatever to raise stomach acid, and they seem to do better. And maybe a little apple cider vinegar will raise your stomach pH and help you digest food more. And there are some vitamins in it, according to this. So, and we know a lot of people on plant-based diets are particularly low in B vitamins. So, you know, maybe there's something to that from a nutritional standpoint. But of course, if you're low on B vitamins and your stomach acid is poor, it's probably because your diet's wrong. So I always go back to that. So I sound like a broken record here pretty quick, but yeah, unfortunately things are running a little slow today. This is from University of Chicago Medicine, and we get through all the COVID-19 warnings. This is sort of debunking the health benefits of apple cider vinegar. It was from August 23rd, 2019. Like I said, it's at uchicagomedicine.org. Do you have any more comments on this one, Justin?
Was it this one that talked about, one of them talked about it actually losing, making you lose potassium, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yes. I'm not sure which study. I think that came up in a couple of them, actually. It might be this one. There's a weight loss. Go ahead.
Yeah, this one was, I like that this one, it says, it may keep the bacteria on your salad from getting out of control.
Yeah,
that's like the best, the best use for it, you know?
Yeah.
And, you know, this article more or less just pointed to just how there's almost either zero research or very bad research in any proof of apple cider vinegar being actually helpful.
Well, and I don't think anybody would say that
a lot what this one's kind of about.
Apple cider vinegar, you know, it's very acidic, so it will kill microbes. So if it
it's not going to cure cancer.
Yeah. So, but you're right. There is a link between using it and lowering potassium. Let's see if it was in this one. So I don't see it here. Anyways, so I mean, is anybody else? You know, I mean, what are the reasons that you guys have heard other people using this? Because if you go on a Facebook group, almost any Facebook group that has anything to do with diet, and you look up apple cider vinegar, you'll see hundreds of posts. So, what are the other reasons you guys have heard people cite for using it?
Seasonal allergy, I think, was one of the reasons I liked it. I swear it had like a everything on it. Like, you know, you think about it, there was a apple cider vinegar was a cure. But yeah, seasonal allergy, that with some honey. And that didn't work for me either.
Leaky gut syndrome, I've heard it helps with that. And balancing out the, you know, the microbes in your digestive system. Help you digest meat better.
I have put it in like when I put something in the crock pot or the slow cooker, I have added vinegar just for flavor. It gives things a tangy flavor. And sometimes, like, I'm marinating some thin cut steak to make jerky out of it. And sometimes I add vinegar to that, you know, especially like if I'm gonna add a little liquid smoke or a little Worcestershire sauce for flavor. I'll put the vinegar in there, and it kind of penetrates the jerky, but it's more like just for flavoring.
I wonder if it's a myth about the bones where it takes out, you know, the minerals out of the bone or not. So that part I'm curious about, because that's what I use it for.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the acid itself helps extract some of the minerals or just dissolve the bone, because that would make sense.
Yeah, I've had some slow cooker recipes recommend putting a little bit of apple cider vinegar into it, making the meat more tender. I think it does something with breaking up the more tough cuts of meat too. I don't know.
I think so, but yeah, I couldn't prove it.
So how about you? Go ahead, Justin. Sorry.
I was saying, and then the problem becomes, well, if you're breaking it apart, like, are you also losing nutrients? Yeah. You know, what else are you losing? I think that's a big issue here.
Yeah, and I got to say, from a historical standpoint or an ancestral standpoint, I mean, what would be the precedent for apple cider vinegar? I mean, apples are not a widely distributed crop in nature. They weren't very sweet. They were tart little things, you know, that are really only, recently cultivated with success. So why would our bodies be evolved to ingest a bunch of apple cider vinegar, So.
Now, I do have to say that prior to going to carnivore, I was dealing with the dandruff issue, and I was using this as a kind of a rinse, which helped me. I mean, it did help,
Really?
but when I went to carnivore, it went away too. So, I mean, I don't do it anymore because it's non-existent at this point.
I forgot about that. I used it for that same thing too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I'd never heard that.
It worked for a little while, and then afterwards it started coming back. So
yeah.
Does it burn when you put it on your scalp?
No, I mean,
you smell like a salad.
You just smell, yeah.
Karina, do you have any uses for it anymore? Or you use it at all?
A lot of years ago, when I was still into horse riding, we used it for making to give it a shine, after cleaning the horse, and then you rubbed it with apple cider vinegar. So this is the only use. But apart from that, I feel it's more the abuse to the body if you ingest it, the way it feels like.
Yeah, it feels abusive. Yeah, apparently it burned some people's skin. I noticed those warnings in several of these articles that you come in direct contact with undiluted apple cider vinegar, it will burn some people's skin. So I never had that happen, but that's what the warnings say. So, well, anybody else got anything to add to their apple cider vinegar saga, or anybody want to throw anything in about panic buying, coronavirus, COVID-19 safety? Perhaps we should wash our hands with apple cider vinegar to stop the plague. I don't know.
Yeah, if the hand sanitizer runs out, use apple cider vinegar.
There you go.
Burn your hands off.
Yeah, and I see this with a lot of things. It's like, oh, it's good for, washing your car. You should also drink it. Like, there's nothing else that we're like, hey, those two should be cool. I'm not saying that apple cider vinegar should be washing, but it says, cleaning floors, antibacterial, antiviral, and stuff like that, which it very well may be. The problem is with the human body, we have good bacteria and bad bacteria, and these chemicals or this apple cider vinegar isn't going to differentiate between good bacteria and bad bacteria, so you're probably killing off something, and you might be killing off something you don't want, but at the same time, you're probably also killing off things that you do want.
That reminds me, I used to wash my vegetables with it. So I'd put a little bit, like a cap full of apple cider vinegar in water, and then you'd wash your vegetables with it. So that was another one.
I used to mop my floor with white vinegar. So like solution of hot water and vinegar. I had a vinyl floor in the kitchen in my old house, and it did a really good job of cleaning up that vinyl without damaging it.
Oh yeah, we still do that. We also wash our clothes with vinegar. So
yeah.
You wash your windows?
White vinegar. Yeah, wash your windows. Yeah. So
yeah. Yeah, actually, we use now I think about using salt and vinegar to wash the shower down and get rid of the soap scum. So there you go.
White vinegar is amazing. But I think Corina's right. Drinking it might be a different story.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you guys pitching in. This is a hot topic. It comes up all the time. So I think it was definitely worth sharing a little information about. So if folks out there who are watching this, maybe send the link on to somebody else who appreciate the content or get some benefit from it, and subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment, give us a thumbs up, all that good stuff. Help the channel grow, help the word get out. Come visit us online. I think you can find most of us at Emily's group, Center of Brilliance. You can find Justin at alloutlife.carnivore at minds.com. Yeah, Mind. And then I've got Autistic Carnivores on Facebook and the Ketogenic Fasting Project and all that. So come join the conversation, maybe get in on one of our meetings. And until next time, everybody feel better out there.